Welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. This is not the story I intended to bring you at this time. I had intended two uploads today. You'll end up getting three. But this is breaking news. 14 kids dead, one teacher. Uvalde, Texas. Elementary school. As you see, these are young children. Very young children. Below 10 years old. I don't know the ages of all the kids that have been killed, but there were 14 children gunned down for no reason. Now, we don't know the explanation of the shooter, but 14 children, one school teacher, at least a dozen others are in the hospital, including a 66-year-old woman and a 10-year-old girl. What I can say is this has got to stop. And I find it interesting. People's idea is just, oh, let's just rearm everybody. Let's arm everybody. But you see how well that's going, letting everybody have a gun. Look what's happened. Again, 14 more children will be lined up in caskets and buried. I, I don't even know what to say at this point. These are little kids. They did nothing to nobody. They did nothing to no one at all. And some son of a bitch decides he's going to take a gun and end their lives. As I see it, it's good that the police officers took this guy out. I wish they'd done it with the Buffalo shooter as well. I don't understand why we're allowing these people to survive after they've gunned down children and gunned down people just wherever. But unarmed people get shot down. Texas is a failure. They have failed their children. They have failed their adult residents as well. Pro-life state, huh? Yet, you let people like this run around with their guns. Anywhere they want to, whenever they want to, with no repercussions. Then people think that they're free to do what they want. It gives them the idea that they have the right to murder children. And yet, Texas does nothing to change its gun laws. Texas does nothing to protect its children. It continues to go on and on and on. And yes, I know it happens in other states. But I don't understand this mentality that we have nothing we can do to prevent things like this. I see stories like this, and it makes me feel so helpless because I don't know what to do. I'm not one of the people in charge. And I'm sure my viewers are just as sick of stories like this as I am. We're tired of seeing children killed day after day after day after day after day in this country. But the reason I focus on Texas is one, I lived there for most of my life, for 40 years. But two, they're the ones saying they're pro-life, that they believe that abortion should be banned. But they do nothing, I repeat, nothing to solve this problem. And that goes for the whole damn country. Because, yeah, sure, Texas says they're pro-life. They have all this other BS that they do. And they're not doing anything to stop it. But you know what? Neither are the other 49 states. Because we are not sending people to Congress who will fight for our needs. They will only fight for people that give them millions of dollars. And they don't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about me. And they sure as hell don't give a damn about your children. Now, this is one area where I truly believe more Democrats could solve the problem. Because most Democrats may not want to take your guns away. Most of them don't. In fact, Democrats in general don't want to take your gun rights away. But what we want to do, or what most in the Democratic Party want to do, is have common sense gun reform. Common sense. Right? Now, I don't know what caused this, what's wrong with this guy. Clearly, he's got some issue. Maybe he hates children. Maybe he has problems. I don't know. But I do know that 14 children lay dead inside that school. I know that much. I know that we do nothing in this country to prevent people from owning guns, even when they shouldn't. I'm at a loss, people. This happened recently in, up in Michigan, I believe, and in several other places. You had the Buffalo shooting from some racist. But what are we doing, people? What the hell are we doing? I don't know the exact solution here. But I do know that we have to do something. But it seems with each passing mass shooting that we don't care. That the children of this country, the citizens of this country, don't matter. As long as you can have your gun. As long as you don't have to fill out an extra piece of paper at the gun store. So you don't have to worry about having a psych evaluation or anything like that to have a firearm of any kind you want. I don't know where we go from here. A nation reeling from that mass murder that took place at that grocery store in Buffalo, hit by this. Ladies and gentlemen, what are we doing? We need to send people to Washington that are actually going to fight for us. They're going to fight for change. So things like this, at least we can at least slow it from happening. I don't know how many mass shootings have happened since the Buffalo shooting, but this is the first one I'm hearing of. So it's at least 202 mass shootings since January 1st of 2022. There was one thing, though, that COVID brought us, is we didn't have mass shootings because nobody was out anywhere hardly. At least they didn't make the news if they were. But I don't understand. By the time you see this, the death toll could be even higher because you have several children in the hospital, at least 13, if not more. The school apparently roughly has 600 people in it, and some 18-year-old jackass decided he was going to ruin people's lives. He was going to rip parents' kids away from them. And I don't understand it. I don't understand why we allow it to happen. I don't know why we don't do something to protect our schools. I've given my solution a billion times just on this channel alone on things I think we could do to mitigate this problem. You know, hiring people who are trained to deal with kids somehow or another, but armed so they can protect our schools. You know, set up a training program for veterans that can't find work. And I don't give a damn how much people say it costs, because that's the one argument I've had against it. Well, who's going to pay for it? Well, I don't give a goddamn who's going to pay for it. We pay fucking taxes in this country. Use them for some good. Quit funding the military to the point that they're telling you we don't want anymore. Right? Stop giving corporate welfare to corporations and fund protecting our schools across the country. But we have to do something different. I'm at an utter loss, as I'm sure most of you are too. To the parents that lost their kids today and their loved ones, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say, but I'm sorry. You shouldn't have to be going through this. You shouldn't have to be doing this. I mean, come on. It's the last few days of school in most places. And parents are, instead of getting ready for summer vacations, and kids getting ready for summer camp, parents are getting ready to put them in a casket. Just think of that. I'm absolutely heartbroken for these families. An elementary school. What are we supposed to do, America? Really? What are we supposed to do? And I can tell you one thing. I've been seeing this thing on Twitter. And TikTok. Mostly TikTok, I guess. Where there's this guy who lives overseas. And he asked Americans who have left the country, that live in Europe now, what do you think about your rights or your freedoms? And the one thing that comes up in every stitch, is I don't have to worry about being gunned down at a grocery store or my kids being gunned down in school. That's one of the common themes to almost every stitch I've watched of that video. But we've got to at least protect our schools. And no, it shouldn't start with having to arm teachers. Teachers shouldn't have to do that. They should be there to teach kids. You know, but we've got to do something. One, we've got to find out how this person was allowed in the school. Most school doors lock nowadays, so you can't get in during their school hours. So I want to know why he was able to be around these kids. How was the shooter allowed to get in the building? All questions for the authorities to figure out. But something went vastly wrong in Uvalde today. 14 kids dead, at least, and at least one school teacher. What are we supposed to do? I'm absolutely flummoxed here. Anyways, I'll see you down the road.